not the stripper, but the cocktail waitress who wants to show them off, but and then they try to tell you, "Oh, don't touch me. Oh, you can't touch me."
What the
It's
fuck are
like,
you
well, we're
talking about?
NXT just put on their final show of the year, NXT Deadline. But was it a good show? We're going to talk about it.
So yeah, Deadline happened. What'd you think of the show overall?
Overall, I actually thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
I I thought, based off of what happens on the TV show, I thought this was just going to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But I have I have no big complaints. I didn't do any ratings for it because it is developmental after all.
Mm.
But
Oh well, I did.
you you can tell that there's gonna you can tell there's some stars there or some potential stars.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll agree with you there. The last NXT pay-per-view I saw was one of the takeovers, and so right off the bat, like I noticed that like the presentation is completely different. I don't know, like Triple H would start like, oh, in the beginning, Vince created the WWE universe with the little spotlight, and then the lights would turn on, and then you'd see the crowd, and they all cheer. This just kind of started. The entrances were very lackluster, especially for WWE. That's like their thing, is the entrances. And I know it's developmental, but I don't know. The last time I saw NXT, it was this big fucking spectacle, and then this wasn't.
Well, that was black and gold. That's what we miss.
This is black and gold
This
too.
no, it's not. You just said it yourself. This is not black and gold.
Yeah.
This is NXT, but this is not black and gold. This is like, I don't know. We'll just call it NXT 3.0.
3.0. Yeah, that's fair.
It's like a mix. It's a mix of, and it's mostly NXT 2.0, especially like, um, I hate this performance center that they're in.
I kind of
I
like
think
it.
that's the biggest thing.
I like how it's like a step above it's like a nice little medium between the studio wrestling and arena, like being in an arena. Because the
Yeah,
studio wrestling, you got like the 4 rows of bleachers and the 6 people cheering, and that's cool to an extent.
that's what we got here.
But this, I don't know, it's like it's almost like the ECW type vibe. That
Maybe if were more people in it, like it was more open,
I don't
I
know.
would like it more. I like the old, like where the original NXT. I like where it was. Maybe the difference was they had the dark light on it, so you couldn't really see the whole thing. Maybe that's the difference.
Maybe I don't know. I would take this crowd over just about any Raw or SmackDown crowd I've seen recently.
Oh yeah, I mean these crowd. let's not get it twisted here. These fans are idiots. They are better than the Raw crowds, and they are idiots. They chant they chant "This is awesome" at things that aren't.
Well,
Like,
so does the Raw and SmackDown crowd.
oh yeah, it is
That's
definitely an overused chant. Now it's just more to appreciate I don't know, appreciate. It's more to appreciate the
something
sequence.
routine. Yeah, it's just whatever. But yeah, I did. There was one surprise for me. There was one not surprise. And then yeah, for the most part, it was kind of lackluster. But the stuff that I liked, I really liked. But we can just kind of dive into it if you want.
Yeah, so we started the show off with the Iron Survivor. What is it? Iron Survivor Challenge
Iron Survivor Challenge, yeah.
match for the women.
Yep.
This match included Cora Jade, Zoey Stark, Indi Hartwell, Roxanne Perez, and Kiana James. I think that's all of them. Yes, that is all of them. I'm gonna be honest here. Due to some technical difficulties, aka I wasn't at home yet, I didn't get to see the start of this match. I didn't get to see most of this match. I saw the ending. I saw who won. I didn't like the ending. Um, I liked who won. Roxanne, if I spoil it, Roxanne Perez won. Um, so I agree with that, but I don't like how she won it. The fact that she was basically she basically lucked out and won, as opposed to like a dominant win or like a win at the buzzer or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. She just looked like she looks like Austin Theory.
Roxanne Perez?
Yeah, how he kind of lucked into winning the U.S. Championship, or is that
Yeah.
about it? Or
Yeah.
okay.
But the difference is he's heel, she's not.
Well,
She's
yeah.
a babyface.
Well, just take it for face value. Don't look too deep into it. Jeez.
I did see some highlights. I know that Kiana James, she definitely stood out in the match. Um, and then the match was basically built around Cora, Jade, and Roxanne Perez finishing their feud or continuing their feud. They have like a fight for everything kind of building. Um, Cora Jade, by the way, Triple H said that he sees the next Sasha Banks in her. Worth noting. And just worth pointing that out. So they're already trying to replace Sasha Banks because they know they ain't getting her back. We'll talk about that later. And then you have Indi, Hartwell, Zoey Stark. They were also in the match. I don't really care too much for Zoey Stark, I'll be honest. She doesn't really have like a personality. She doesn't have a character at all.
Okay.
And then Indi Hartwell, she was kind of just there. You know, I thought going in she might win, but seems like they just had her there as, I don't know, to kind of help the other women.
Okay.
But yeah, Kiana James was the standout. She is a standout of NXT, and that's all I could really.
All right.
Again, I didn't get to see the match, so
Well, I'm going to
Um,
be is equally honest. I said that I am only going to watch one of these convoluted matches, and if there's going to be one of them, it's going to be the men's match. So I skipped this. I did catch the last few minutes as well. Or, excuse me, I caught the beginning and I caught the last few minutes. Now keep in mind, I don't know who any of these people are. Anybody. I know who Apollo Crews is, and I know who Bron Breakker is, and obviously New Day. And I've heard of Pretty Deadly. That's pretty much it. So I'm going in this. I'm going in this with virgin eyes.
which is good.
Yeah.
There's no like pre-existing, I don't know what the word is there, biases.
Right. Exactly. So I thought Zoey Stark was the most legitimate looking one out of all of them. She looked like the most like a wrestler. When she started off the match, she did that move where the wrestlers do where they tug the ropes, like they get into a sequence and then they break away and then they get their shit back together and they kind of lean against, put their weight against the ropes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most I've never seen I don't see the dudes do that, let alone, I don't know. It was really legitimate. I don't know about her like her moveset because it was a whole bunch of ladies, but from what I saw, it was okay. But yeah, I didn't want to watch it, so I wanted to do other things. I did catch the last few minutes of it. She still looked legit. I don't know why she would have wasted time climbing the rope at that last when she had that advantage at the last minute. I think it was when the timer, the last penalty box person came out, and her and somebody else were the only ones in the ring. And she, instead of like doing something else, she wasted time climbing the rope. when she could have just pinned her and got the win, but she didn't. And then of course the one that looks like a Barbie won.
Roxanne.
Sure.
Roxy.
The one that looks like just like any other diva that's walked through WWE. There's nothing special about her.
They are big on Roxy, I will say, and I keep calling her Roxy. That was her. She was the last ROH Women's Champion before they closed shop.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
It doesn't need to. I'm just telling you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And right now I'm talking to the people who would know. So she was the last ROH Women's World Champion, and then they closed shop. So now she's in WWE. She was Booker T's student. They kept putting that over.
Oh, is that why Booker T was crying?
Yeah.
Okay. Really? He's gonna cry over Roxy?
Yeah.
Surely.
She won the match.
Surely
Not the championship, by the way, just the match.
Yeah, surely he has other
the
students that have done
MVP.
better. He ain't a very good instructor if that's the case. If Roxy's his peak thus far.
I couldn't really tell you. I don't spend a lot of time. Although he does, apparently he did wrestle at his little school recently, so he still wrestles there.
That's good. He can take Roxy with him.
I don't know.
Be
what
tag
that has to do with
champions
anything.
forever and ever. I thought Zoey Stark. I don't know. I don't know their promos. I don't know what program she's in. I don't know how she's booked. I just know that she looked like the most legitimate in the ring.
Yeah, and I will say, I said I don't like Zoey Stark. Wrestling-wise, she is good. I just don't. She just doesn't have a character, or maybe she does, and it didn't connect with me.
Okay.
I don't really know what her character is. She just turned heel recently. Yeah.
Not
She
that it
doesn't really have a character.
not that it matters, but is she a white chick?
I don't know.
Okay. I couldn't tell if she had dyed hair and she was light skinned, or if she was a light skinned black chick, or if she was a dark skinned white chick, or if she was something else. Not that it matters.
Yeah.
She just had a unique. She had an exotic look, I would say.
Yeah, she's definitely not black. She's not one of us.
Okay.
She's not in the clique.
Okay.
She is.
Are you looking it up?
No. I was just gonna, I don't know. She might be, I don't know, Hispanic maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Or that might just be because she puts on the tan and it makes her look Hispanic.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
But but that hair is real, so she ain't.
Gotcha. Fair enough. But yeah, all the other girls, they all look the same. You could copy and paste them with any girl on the main roster. There was nothing unique about them. I just thought Zoey kind of popped out. But again, didn't watch the whole match, so I didn't really have a dog in the fight beyond that. I did, or anything else with the ladies?
No. So again, Roxanne Perez wins the Iron Woman challenge.
Yeah.
She gets the right to challenge Mandy Rose for the title. I want to say that she is going to win the title, and then that's going to be when they call Mandy Rose back up to the main roster. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense that they put all this emphasis on this Iron Survivor thing. If not to pay it off with, this Iron Survivor won the title. If they go and lose, then it was really all for nothing.
Okay. Sure. I'll take your word for it. I don't know. She's just a tiny non-athletic looking lady. When he could have had a Zoey Stark, who looks like a legitimate athlete.
Moving on, our second match of the evening, we had Isla Dawn, right, versus Alba Fyre.
Yeah, I was calling her Isla. And then they finally said, "Oh yeah."
Well, I was just making sure that I didn't miss a
No,
match in between
yeah,
that. So yeah,
Alba Fyre, Isla Dawn.
yes. And this was a one-on-one match. Honestly, this match could have taken place on TV. Like they could have just put a main event match on or something. But it was on the Deadline show. I got two things to say here. Number one, this was a pretty good match.
Okay.
And number two, I think Isla Dawn has that it factor. She has that star power. She's going to be a star.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just the character she's playing. Well, I do know that's what it is. Not that it's the character she's playing, but the fact that she is a character, it makes her stand out. Like you said, the women in the Iron Challenge match, they were just like, cookie cutter. But you got Isla Dawn, she's like a character.
Uh-huh.
I like that. So was Alba Fyre. I mean, I guess she's a character. She's not really a character, but she's a character. With all the fire and the baseball bat shit. Um, but yeah, Isla Dawn, she looks like she is going to be a breakout. Uh, this was a good match between the two. Should I talk about the ending already?
I mean, yeah, if you want. I mean, I'll wait till I'll go ahead and do your thing, then I'll give my thoughts.
Okay, so picking up to how this match ended, because I know this is the source of controversy. Some people are gonna like it, some people are not. So, in this match, we have Alba Fyre. She's about to get the win. She gets Isla Dawn down for a swanton. Before she hits the swanton, Isla Dawn, she grabs the ref's leg, and I guess she put a hex on him. We're gonna get back to that in a moment. So, so she grabs the ref's leg. He launches away. People thought that she was trying to grab the ref or something. And then the ref gets out of frame. Alba Fyre, she hits the swanton bomb. She goes for the pin. And then we pan over to the ref, who's spitting up black goo. Because Isla Dawn, in that moment that she touched him, put a hex on him. And then that caused him to spit up black goo. They said it was coming from his nose as well. I didn't see that part. If it was, my God. If he deserves an Oscar if it was. We then have refs. They run down to more refs. They run down to the ramp to check on the ref who's spitting up black goo. In this fray, Isla Dawn, she throws Alba Fyre into an exposed turnbuckle. She then gets possessed, and her eyes roll in the back of her head before her finisher. Before her finisher, she hits the finisher, gets the win.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
So, go ahead.
Well, again, I don't know who any of these people are, and I'll be honest with you. When Alba Fyre started, oh, I come from a long line of Scottish warriors, and I had to fire the ancestors and burn in the lakes of Minnetonka and bathe in blood and oil and all that stuff, that kind of turned me off.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, it was like
that sounds like part of what she does. Yeah.
It was part of the video package. I didn't know really what to make of Isla Dawn at first, with the Ouija boards and there's a lot of Bray Wyatt. I know that seems to be. I don't know what her past is or where she came from, as far as other promotions. So I don't know if this is something that she's done for years and years and years, or she just started and that's kind of the inspiration she took.
From what I know, she was in NXT Europe.
Which isn't that old.
Yeah. I don't know any. This was the second time I've seen her, so. And the other time was the interference, so I don't really know anything about her beyond she was in NXT Europe.
Okay. So the match started, and Alba Fyre is fucking awesome. She kind of reminds me of Sarah Connor from the Terminator. Like she's not the biggest dog in the yard, but she'll punch you in the face and she can take a punch.
Mm-hmm.
Type lady. There was a spot where she did that flip off the top rope outside the ring. She did it without hesitation. I think she was on the mat, then she got up and she just climbed the buckle and just dove. She didn't wait for the perfect little timing and that goofy shit like most of the people do. Not just the women. Most of the people do. They just fucking wait. But no, she just dove. She didn't care if maybe it was that it was timed that perfectly that she knew. I mean, obviously, but she didn't. I mean, yeah. There's very little room for error there, at least to my unwrestled eye. I personally think that Isla Dawn needs to lose the stupid facials. She does the little crazy laughing shit, and like we already have Nikki Cross on the main roster.
Okay. What about the orgasm before her finisher?
We'll get there. I think overall she kind of looks ridiculous. She kind of looks like her clothes look like it's from a thrift store. She looks like a discount Pennywise the clown. She does the little laughing and stuff. I kind of like the mist gimmick just because it's the mist gimmick, but I kind of wonder if they get paid extra for getting spit on in the face, especially if it goes in their mouth. Like some of it got in my mouth, man. That's kind of weird.
You shouldn't have your mouth open to get it in there.
Well, you're running around in a wrestling ring. You're gonna be huffing and puffing. You can't help it.
But I always, like getting the spit in your mouth is always. You gotta. Like I'd break character. You got it in my mouth.
No, don't.
My mouth.
Just leave. I don't want to play anymore.
Like, don't even sell it. Just immediately run out the ring. Water, give me water. It's in my mouth.
But yeah, clearly you were more enamored with Isla Dawn than I was. The spooky shit with the ref, you could have completely taken all that bullshit out and still had that finish with the turnbuckle, because that was a phenomenal finish. I haven't seen that good of a finish in ages.
I didn't even see her take the turnbuckle off.
Yeah, she did it at the beginning. I forgot she took it off. That's how great it was. She took it off, and that's so old school. Like, remember when they put the chair in the turnbuckle and they tease throwing it in, but then they'd reverse it, and then they go into the match, and then at the very end they'd throw them in there.
It comes into play.
Yeah, that's just total Attitude Era finish. It was perfect. What you didn't need was the spooky shit with the referee. That did nothing.
You didn't like the goo?
It didn't make any. It didn't do anything. You could have. You
put a hex on him.
Stupid.
She put a hex on him to cause a distraction to not lose the match.
She could have done so. She could have done so many other distraction finishes with the ref, or just take it out.
Yeah,
kind of lost me there.
I get that a lot of people would have a problem with it. I, for one, I'm into the I don't know, supernatural power characters like Papa Shango, Kane, Undertaker, Rising with the Urn. I'm into those kind of characters.
Here's the thing, though. They were both, and as ridiculous as Isla Dawn looked, she can wrestle. So they were having a really good match. And so you ruined it with that spooky bullshit.
I don't know, just because her character.
I guess it's dumb.
Now
character.
I could see, and if you didn't like that, you're really, well, you might not care, but Bray Wyatt always has Abby the Witch as one of the Firefly Funhouse character. She's one of, if as LA Knight says, one of Bray Wyatt's toys, Abby the Witch.
Well, it seems
I could see Isla Dawn being Abby the Witch, Of course, she would need to, do black hair, but
It seems like there were a couple people auditioning for the Wyatt squad.
yeah. And we don't even know if there are more members.
Right.
Although there might be, because when we talk about SmackDown, there was something that stuck out.
Okay.
But
yeah,
definitely.
I thought Alba Fyre that it probably would have been the match of the night for me if it wasn't for that bullshit finish with the referee. I like the finish with the turnbuckle. That was perfect. I just think you could have done something other than make him puke up spooky blood.
So that's 2 matches in, and
Yep.
I would say 2 pretty decent, match-wise, definitely decent matches.
One was phenomenal.
So,
I didn't watch the other one.
Yeah.
So I can't. I don't know if it was a good match or not. I just from the 2 minutes that I saw, I think the wrong person. I think the wrong person won. How's that for armchair quarterbacking?
Yeah. There was something though that, Isla Dawn, she's a creepy character, and then you have.
See, that's the thing though. She's not that creepy. She's phony. You can tell she's playing a character.
I don't know, when someone starts messing with Ouija boards,
Please.
It's like, get away from me.
And I couldn't tell she was. Apparently she's.
Don't you bring that evil over here.
Apparently she's Scottish too, which was kind of cool, I guess. Which kind of makes me wonder if all the good women wrestlers are not American, because that backstage thing with all those ladies, like all of them were bad actors.
I didn't see.
There's
I don't
just
know what you're talking about.
very unbelievable. But it's just whenever somebody does that laughing thing, the ha ha ha, it's just phony. You can tell that that's not. Nobody does that. Nobody does that in real life. You never see people walking down the street going ha 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 ha. And if they do, they're stabbing somebody, and you need to call the police.
See, they're playing a crazy person.
See, they're playing. That's just. Mm-mm.
Well, they're all playing. This is wrestling. You're playing a character. You're not. You think Ric Flair was? Well, never mind.
Exactly. Play something believable.
But yeah, I noticed that there's something here though. So we got Isla Dawn. Just go with me here. Creepy character. Rhea Ripley, creepy character. Liv Morgan, she was a creepy character. I don't know if she still is. Creepy character. Valhalla, creepy character. I think Triple H might have a thing for like the goth girls.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Wyatt was going to be like some weird supernatural pimp.
Oh, what? No.
I thought you were going to suggest that they were all going to be part of his little faction.
No, I was just saying, like Vince McMahon, he always brought in the blondes with the big tits. Well, now Triple H got all these girls playing these goth characters, creepy goth characters. So maybe that's his thing. Is like he likes the goth chicks.
Possibly, he does like the metal stuff.
You got Stephanie McMahon. She's the CEO of a company, so obviously she's dominant over him.
Yeah, right. We should do this.
He probably. She probably steps on him or something.
Jesus Christ. Gets the glass table. Yeah.
Yeah. She probably does the humiliation thing. He's like, "Oh, tell me I'm bad."
You might be onto something. I thought he had a thing for, because didn't he bring in Dana Brooke?
I don't know.
I just thought he had a thing for chicks that worked out.
Well, he should. I mean, it's wrestling.
Right, but I mean, the ones that like really work out, not the ones that I saw Sheamus's little Celtic Warrior workout with some of the ladies with their little, oh, what I do is I do shake weight for 5 minutes.
What?
I call them my shakesies.
Who did the shake weight?
Liv Morgan.
I bet she did.
She didn't.
That's probably.
She didn't. I
That's
made
probably-
that up just in case there's a whole bunch of people want to. No, you fucking liar.
I was gonna say that's probably why that video's like on its way to 1 million views because she's shake weighting.
Shake weighting. God.
Probably
Like,
got the camera above her so she can shake weight, and then she's got it like pointed at her face and stuff.
Well, Sasha Banks had rubber bands or something. She's like, I'll use these rubber bands. Okay.
But yeah, anyway, that was just my little observation that Triple H might have a thing for the goth. There's
Possibly.
nothing wrong with it. I mean,
No, not
they
at
are
all.
pretty hot. but
I appreciate it.
There we are.
All right,
Vince
so
has blondes. Triple H has his goths.
but I think he brought in Dana Brooke, so I think he just likes. I just think he likes the ladies. Although he'd be really dumb to. Can you imagine? He works his way all the way up to where he is now. He's been waiting for Vince to finally step down or kick the bucket, and he's arrived, and then he decides to cheat on Stephanie.
I know he wouldn't do that. He'd be an idiot.
Yeah, he'd be stupid.
Throw it all away.
Right.
Like, come on, you'd be out. You wouldn't be head of creative. There ain't no vag that is that important.
No, not at all. Anyway, so next up we have Bizarro Milli Vanilli versus New Day. And I have
Translation, that would be Pretty Deadly versus New Day.
I have a major issue with maybe a major issue with this match, but we'll get to it. Obviously, the New Day come out. I kind of wish they still had their little Power Ranger outfit on from SmackDown, but because that was the only interesting thing that they've done in a while. Then the Pretty Deadly came out with their titty shirts. Looked like the blonde one specifically oiled his titties.
He probably did. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I was actually sitting there thinking, because the match started, and I was thinking, you know what? They're kind of a good old school tag team, and I was starting to kind of get it. Then the blonde one throws Kofi into the ropes, but then Kofi does this little flip thing into a twerk. Then out of nowhere,
Twerk off.
yes. Then that prompted the blonde one to do a twerk of his own. And then as you stated, they did a twerk off. The announcers even called it twerk off. So it was at that moment I decided to walk away and do other things, because if they're not going to take it seriously, I'm certainly not either. It's a championship match. Why the fuck are you twerking? Like, they were just saying, like, oh, we want to be Triple Crown champions. You're going to fucking twerk off in the fucking middle of a championship match? Now, I'm almost done. Did New Day win or lose?
They won.
Okay. How competitive was it?
It was pretty competitive.
Okay. Didn't
Here
the
you
new...
go.
What?
This was my thought, so go ahead.
Okay. Because, yeah, didn't the New Day just wrestle the Usos not too long ago? Wasn't it like last week or the week before that?
Yes.
And they kind of took them to the limit, right?
Yes.
And the Usos are the number one tag team, and at least in WWE, that world.
Yes.
So, Pretty Deadly took a team that took the number one tag team, Pretty Deadly being in the developmental. So, are we to believe that? You see where I'm going with this?
Yes, and this is exactly what my overarching thing with this match. Like,
Okay.
you have the New Day, the longest reigning, or the second longest reigning now tag team champions, on the main roster, they just took the Usos, the best tag team, to the limit, and then you're here in developmental, and you're struggling against these guys.
Right. If this were real, just think about it. How bad do the Usos look right now?
Well,
Because theoretically, if Francis Ngannou was to go to the UFC fighter house, you know what I mean? Like, he should walk right all through him.
right.
He's not gonna have like a super competitive match. He's supposed to just run right through him.
Right.
That so again, if it were real, the developmental tag team champions wouldn't last 5 minutes with somebody that can take the number one tag team in the fucking WWE to the limit.
Talk your talk, guys. Because I don't even disagree with you.
What is this bullshit?
Yeah, I can't even disagree with you on that one.
I don't get it. So the New Day won? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, at least that happened. Because God forbid, I thought for sure that they would lose, which made me even angrier. But at least they won. So that
Yeah, I'm thinking like, well, how are they gonna? Because I'm thinking during the match, they can't beat the New Day clean, like,
right.
because again, 2 weeks ago they just took the Usos to the limit. So you're gonna come to NXT and lose clean to a developmental team? You can't.
Well, even then, they're developmental. The Usos are main roster heels. They're again the number one team. They should be better heels. They should know like all the tactics. There's nothing that the Bizarro Milli Vanilli can do that the New Day of all teams haven't seen before. So even if they did cheat, the match shouldn't have lasted more than 5 minutes.
Right.
But at least they didn't shit on the Usos after pissing in their mouth. That's great. I'm done.
Well, yeah, I'd like a turn. So up until this point, I thought this was easily the match of the night.
Really?
It went as far as
You made it past the twerk off?
even better. I didn't see the torque off.
Oh, okay.
You get there's a lot of commonality in this.
My finger was on the presser as soon as the Bizarro Milli Vanilli came out. If I'm being honest.
Like you see, well, there's a lot of commonality. I missed a lot of things during the show, because again, Peacock doesn't let you rewind it. So if you miss something, you miss something. I did come to later find out that, and this might help someone out there who has Peacock. If you have it on the actual channel, or like, let's say you're watching the pay-per-view, you got to get up and walk away. As long as you don't turn the TV off or exit out of the live stream, you can then rewind it. I didn't find this out until after the show was over, so it didn't help me here. But yeah, I had to get up for a second, so I missed the twerk off. I did see it on Twitter that they did have the twerk off. Booker T wasn't funny in what I heard from it. And he was talking about, this is a tag team match. This is for the championship, and you're twerking. That's when Kofi Kingston did it, and then when Blondie started twerking, he's like, "What are you gonna?" The Vic Joseph's like, "What are you gonna say now?" And he's like, "He's just showing them how it's done." and then you have Kofi Kingston get on the ground and start twerking. I actually laughed at all this. And
Okay.
Once we get past that, yeah, this was a pretty competitive match. There was a moment where I forgot I was watching NXT. I thought I was watching like the main roster. So I'll give Pretty Deadly credit because I'm not a fan of their gimmick whatsoever. I think the gimmick is just top tier terrible, and not because of what they're playing. It's just I don't like the gimmick. It doesn't resonate with me. I think they can tweak the gimmick, but
They can at least
guys...
not wear the tit shirts. I thought that was just entrance attire. Why would you wear that? Like, I don't know. Why would you
And on top
accentuate
of
your
that,
male
the shirt
breasts?
was see-through.
Yes. It was like they borrowed Seth Rollins' shirts from Becky.
Well, at least Seth Rollins' shirt was full.
It was still see-through.
I know, but it was full.
That's because
Like,
Bizarro Milli Vanilli had the ones that weren't.
like you gotta, I don't know. It's not even a shirt. It's like what? In what world? Let's take the wrestling thing out of it. In what world does a designer make that and someone buy that? Like what occasion are you buying that for in a real world scenario?
I have no clue.
Well, I guess
Maybe-
maybe if you're a stripper,
Maybe.
you know, you try and act all high and mighty, but you dress provocative.
Sir, don't follow me into the bathroom.
You can't wait by my car. I'm just yeah. Why are you? Oh, he's behind the trash can again. Security. No, I just want to help you get to your car. I thought we had a connection when you were giving me. I thought you loved me. But yeah, that's. I guess that's the only scenario you get that kind of a shirt.
Right on.
But yeah, they put on a good match. There was like I said, there was moments where I forgot I was watching NXT. I thought it was like a main roster match because of how well they were working together. I don't know if that's the New Day or if Pretty Deadly's that good. If they are, they're main roster bound. They should just be on the main roster. They gotta lose that gimmick though. There was a spot in this match that was pretty creative, I thought. So there was a spot where the ref gets distracted. You have one of the Pretty Deadly guys, they go out and grab the titles. They bring the titles in the ring. And then since the ref is distracted, he's like keeping Xavier Woods on the apron. No, sorry. Oh, I guess it doesn't make sense now. Okay, so just picture this. The ref is distracted, keeping Kofi Kingston outside of the ring. Pretty Deadly guy, he brings the title into the match. He throws the title over to Xavier Woods, and then he hits the ground, making the noise, right? Kind of like
so
the Eddie Guerrero finisher.
Yeah.
Before the ref turns around, Xavier Woods then throws the title to the other guy on Pretty Deadly's team, and then he falls and hits the mat. Still before the ref turns around, I forgot what happened to the ref, but something happens to where Kofi Kingston now is in the ring. Oh, I think he was, at this point he was grabbed, because they brought in both titles. So at this point he's getting the other title out of the ring. So Kofi Kingston's now in the ring. Guy from Pretty Deadly. So we have one guy from Pretty Deadly on the ground. Xavier Woods on the ground. Now the other guy's holding the title. He throws it to Kofi Kingston, and he hits the ground. And then Kofi Kingston drops the title. He hits the ground, and then the ref turns around, and they're all four laying on the ground with the title in between them. So it was like, I don't know. It was pretty creative.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
And then yeah, so they tried to Eddie Guerrero, but it backfired because everybody fell out. So, and then yeah, we go. The ref's like, I'm not calling this match. I'm not calling this match. And then everybody has to get up, and then that leads to the finish. And as we stated, the New Day are now NXT Tag Team Champions.
Well, what was the finish?
I think it was Midnight Hour. Just basically New Day hitting their finisher.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a definitive finish.
Gotcha.
My thing. So again, It was a good match. My thing with this though is where do we go from here? Because now we have the New Day, the what are they? 9-time tag team champions, or yeah, 9-time SmackDown tag team champions. I think they've had like 15 total titles, they said, or something like that, maybe 16. And now they're on developmental. Like, and then also, because again, this was the team who just took, um, they just took the Usos to the limit. So now, what developmental team is going to come in and beat the New Day for the titles? I don't think they thought that far. And then also, does that mean the New Day is exclusive to NXT now, or then they're gonna be on SmackDown? I guess it gives them something to do, since they shouldn't really be chasing the Usos right now. And
Who is chasing the Usos?
currently, no one, because
Okay.
they just be Sheamus and Butch.
All right.
But I forgot they got their little feud. They haven't had the traditional tag team match against Imperium. Maybe that's where they go. Maybe Imperium wins the tag titles for NXT on SmackDown. I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. Where do you go with this? There's not really. You can't believe that a developmental team is going to come and beat the New Day.
Well, if they do, obviously they'd have to cheat, but they'd have to cheat pretty hardcore. Yeah, it's just.
Either cheat or someone from the main roster that furthers the feud interferes.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Or
fan of
maybe-
how Shawn Michaels put shit together from this display at least.
And also, back to you remember when I was talking about Kevin Owens wrestling house shows, and now you're gonna have New Day wrestling now. Completely different scenarios. New Day is not in like the top storyline in the company right now, so I guess there's a difference there. But you're gonna risk them getting hurt against these developmental talents.
Well,
when
I
they should be saved for the main roster.
I don't know. Maybe this is leading to Bizarro Milli Vanilli getting to the main roster, because maybe they chase New Day to the main roster to SmackDown.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because like you said, they looked main event ready aside from the fucking twerking off, and I was ready to like the match. And if your goal is to make them better or to make the tag division better, I don't think aside from the Usos, obviously, there's not really another tag team that you could send over there to help teach, other than Kofi and Xavier.
Yeah, I guess so. But
And they all like work one day a week anyway, aside from Sami Zayn.
true. So yeah, there we have it. New Day, new tag team champions for NXT.
You know what doesn't make sense?
What?
A little tiny girl that looks like a mime brushing her hand incidentally against a referee's leg, and then he pukes up a little sludge. That doesn't make sense.
Well, there you go.
All right, moving on. We have the
Next
men's.
up, we have the men's Iron Survivor match. Participants include. Sorry, let me get it pulled up here. We had Axiom, Jade McDonagh, Carmelo Hayes, Joe Gacy, and Grayson Walla. I don't know why I had to say it like that, but there we go.
That's how I hear it too. So whatever.
Grayson Waller is his name. Kind of dollar store Miz, I would say.
I got Miz, Logan Paul vibes.
Yeah, I could see that. This match, it was good. It wasn't the clusterfuck that I thought it would be. And again, I missed the women's one, so this was kind of my introduction into the whole Iron Survivor thing. Um, there were some spots that I did like. Well, actually, if I'm being honest, I enjoyed most of the match. Um, some of the highlight spots, I would say, is I liked, and I wanted to, and I almost wrote down that there was a missed opportunity, but then they kind of took advantage of it. There was a point where McDonagh and Axiom, they both got pinned at the same, like pretty much the same time. So they both then have to go into the penalty box. And what I was going to write down is they were both in the penalty box. You could have had a spot where they're fighting for that 90 seconds in the penalty box. They ended up fighting towards the end of it. Um, so I took that off. But I did enjoy that you have two people in the penalty box and they're not just like, you know, playing grab ass or whatever. They're actually fighting in there.
Right.
Um,
And it sounds
and
like
then
they
there
have
was-
a beef anyway, so it makes sense.
yeah, so the whole match kind of was them continuing their feud. And then there was a lot of moments where they're fighting each other. JD McDonagh didn't get a pin, fall, or submission, so he had 0. Axiom had 1. Carmelo Hayes had 1. Or did he have 2? Joe Gacy had 2. And then your winner, Grayson Waller, he had 3. And then the finish, I was a fan of the finish as well. The finish saw Carmelo Hayes, he hit his finisher top rope leg drop, and then before he gets the pin, you have Grayson Waller from the outside. He pulls Carmelo Hayes off, and then he gets the pin. You still have like 10 seconds left, so in that 10 seconds, Carmelo Hayes, he's stunned. He's like, you just stole my pin. So he tries to go and pins. I think it was JD McDonagh who's still laying on the ground. He tries to go and pin him. Grayson Waller pulls him out of the ring, so he can't pin him. And then he basically ran the clock out, literally.
Yep.
So I thought that was a clever finish. And yeah, I enjoyed the match. I think. Yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say. I was gonna
Okay.
say maybe the timing was like the 25 minutes wasn't long enough, or I mean maybe the penalty box thing could be more like you put them in there longer, or you have something more happen during the penalty time. Like I don't think anybody, while the penalty box thing was going off, I don't think anybody got pinned. So you could have built more of a story behind that whole thing, but overall, that's just nitpicking. I like the match.
I had trouble with both clocks. I mean, maybe it's just my slow brain. But like
Oh,
the
it did take me a while to get it.
yeah, the penalty box thing would say 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, there's only 2 minutes left in this match, and then you hear him go 10, 9, and I don't know. It's weird. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
All right. So I don't know if it was the weed, but I think Axiom might have the best entrance of all time.
He does have a trippy entrance
Yeah,
where he's like paused
yeah. Is this
but moving at the same time.
freaking weird? It's great. For the most part, it was kind of the typical multi-man match where everybody just does a couple moves and then they kind of roll out of the way and watch while somebody else does moves. Like you said, they did use the penalty box, which I think I don't have any sympathy for JD, whatever his face is, because if he wasn't fucking around with the penalty box so much and tried winning the match, maybe he would have had a couple points. Maybe he would have won. Like if it's
Yeah.
for the opportunity for the NXT title, like is your feud with Axiom more important than being champion? If it is, why are you even there?
I guess to him it was.
It's just I don't know, just things like that. Of course, there's a Grayson Waller. I'll just leave it at that. Waller called Booker a bitch for some reason. Is there like a thing with them, like an ongoing thing?
I don't know what that was about, and that was pretty awkward.
It was
Like
awkward.
Booker didn't say anything. It was like you felt like Booker was like real life mad.
Oh yeah,
He was probably giving him those Booker eyes.
like
Like
Waller's.
I'm about to break my foot off in his.
Yeah, Waller's looking to be turned into a man. And, Chubby Karrion Cross, he wrecked shit. I don't know which one that one was.
Gacy,
Yeah.
Joe Gacy.
I wrote down, I don't understand why the little dude with the hair is wasting time fucking around with the penalty box. He has 0 falls. We're 29 minutes in.
I know he went. He wasn't even in the penalty, and he went out to go to the penalty box to
Right.
fight Axiom.
Everybody up breaking up McDonald's pen. I guess that's the little dude with hair. Where they did that spot where they just all elbow dropped him.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of neat. And then he stomped them all, and then they all super kicked him at the same time. That was kind of cool. Of course, everybody does
And
super kick in a Shawn Michaels promotion.
oh, I was just gonna point out, and he had 0 falls when they all broke it up. By the way,
Right.
like it wasn't like that was for the. He was gonna win the match off of that. He
Right.
had 0 falls,
Right,
and they
right,
still
right.
didn't let him get one.
That's pretty good. Is he like a big heel or something? What's his story?
He kind of, yeah, I guess his whole shtick is like he hurts people. So that's why him and Axiom had like the feud because he hurt him a couple
Okay.
weeks back, and outside of trying to win the match, he like tries to put you in the on the shelf.
I will say none of them looked like maybe Grace. I mean, I can see why Grayson Waller's pushed, but he looks goofy. He's a good-looking dude, but that's about it. Like none of them look. I don't know. Like if that's the heavyweight division, they don't look impressive at all.
Yeah, they're kind of small.
Yeah, they're all like they're barely taller than the turnbuckles. What are they doing?
I
What
would
is
say
this?
Grayson Waller, he could be something. I don't like his whole gimmick because I don't quite know what it is. Like
I know he has.
the basketball shorts and the dancing and he did the shoey at the end. So like, if he's supposed to be a party person, that's fine. But then why is he wearing basketball boxer shorts?
I just
Why
know
is he
they're.
wearing trunks?
I just know
boxing
they're pink trunks. That's all I need to know about him. And it's
Yeah.
not Bret Hart pink. It's Matt
It's
Riddle
like-
pink. But I don't know. I wasn't that like enamored with the match, I guess. There's a couple cool moments, but I don't know. It wasn't. There's nothing memorable or anything that made me go, "Wow, this is something that I could see being an annual like thing to look forward to, like a Royal Rumble or something, or an Elimination Chamber, or a ladder match." And that's the thing, like. I think it's really dumb to have 2 of these matches on the same pay-per-view because schlubs like us are gonna fucking pick one. If we don't know what a match is, we're going to pick one of the matches because we're not going to sit through 2 shitty matches of developmental talent tiptoeing around something new.
Right. I mean, I didn't pick one. I wasn't available for one.
Whatever. I picked one.
Yeah, I legit wasn't home, so I couldn't see it.
So my suggestion is instead of making everything equal, how about being innovative? Why couldn't you have done like a 5-person ladder match to make it more interesting? Why do you have to have 2 of the same special matches? Hell, it doesn't even have to be the dudes that get the special match. Let the fucking women have the Iron Survivor match. Who gives a shit? The dudes can do like a battle royal or a ladder match or anything. Why does it have to be the same shit? Why does one side have to do one thing and then the other side have to do the exact same thing? Why does everything have to be fucking mirrored?
Quality. That's why.
Innovate. Don't equality me.
They gotta do, because then they gotta tout their thing that, the women are getting equal chances as the men, yada yada.
They can have the equal chances. They don't have to be in the same shit, though. It doesn't have to be the same thing. You don't have to watch one thing and it'd be the exact same thing as the thing that you just saw. Like the Survivor Series.
Do.
The Survivor Series. That was a chore. I'm sure the Royal Rumble is going to be a bear to watch.
Yeah. I mean, they do. They have to do that.
They don't. They're lazy.
Like, I mean, if you go down the NWA, they don't have to do that, but WWE, they got to do it.
They don't have to do that. They're just lazy.
It's not lazy.
Yes, it is.
They're a publicly traded company. They don't do something. They get called woke. They're anti-woke. And then if they get, I guess I should say, if they get canceled, isn't it going to be good for their shareholders thing? When you
wouldn't get canceled.
You got to bend the knee.
If they didn't do I don't know if they didn't do a ladies Iron Survivor match and they did like a ladder match, nobody would say anything. They're still getting the equal opportunity. It's a different match. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, why are only the men getting this match? I can see it now.
Well, those are the people that are never happy.
Well, maybe so, but
I don't think it's what they're in. I think it's how they're presented. And nobody gives a shit anyway. The people that are bitching don't watch.
Of course they don't watch. But they're still going to complain about it. And then you had enough people complaining. And then, yeah.
I just think it's lazy. Anyway, the Karrion, I changed it to Karrion Wyatt, chubby Karrion Wyatt. I guess that's kind of redundant because Bray Wyatt's kind of chubby, but I'll have to work on that. He does that little flippy thing.
I'm sure you'll come up with one.
Yeah.
You'll come back later with one.
He does that little flippy thing too much. You know the thing where he does
springboard clothesline.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when Dean Ambrose did that little fall away thing through the ropes into a clothesline. Like he did it all the time. Just annoying.
Yeah.
The little dude with hair looks like a leprechaun. Just thought I'd break that down. Yeah, and of course Waller would win. I thought it was clever, the finish. But I thought Carmelo had a chance to pin Axiom at the end when Grayson Waller was running around, but instead he chose to chase Grayson.
I took that as he just panicked once.
Okay.
Once he pulled the other guy out the ring, he just panicked and just started chasing Grayson.
Okay, fair enough. That could be a nitpick for me, obviously, but Um, yeah, that's all I have to say.
I mean, sometimes when the pressure's on, you don't have your wits about you. You can't just make those kind of decisions.
Right.
Oh, that guy's not available. I'll just pin that guy.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it. I can see that. Absolutely.
Well, we move on to our final match of the night.
Wow.
And now, your main event of the evening.
Oh yeah, let's go get that average view duration up.
You have Apollo Crews versus your reigning and defending NXT Heavyweight Champion. He is the son of Rick Steiner. He is the nephew of Scott Steiner. He is the big, bad, booty daddy nephew. He is Steiner Man. He is... Okay. Bron Breakker. I didn't have... I should have prepared that beforehand. Don't worry, I'll get it next time. Next time we have a championship match, I'll have something better. Which leads me to my first point of the match. The introductions. Do you see how I just did that introduction? Now, it wasn't the best. I fell off at the end there. I'll admit myself. Wasn't my best one. But I got you hyped for the match because I said, he's the reigning and defending. I gave you some stats about him. When they do these championship matches now, and they used to do it, especially Bruce Buffer, he used to do, he's fighting out of this, he weighs this pounds.
And he lives in a condo right off the east coast of West Virginia.
Yeah, he used to build up the person.
He likes long walks on the beach. It has a Shar-Pei puppy.
Yeah, and now they just your challenger, and here's your champion, and that's it. There's nothing special about the introduction. So that was the first thing.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even notice, but I'm sure I agree with you.
Yeah, they just said, they did the little spotlight thing, and your challenger, Apollo Crews, and then your NXT World Heavyweight Champion, Bron Breakker.
The thing is, the commentary, the interviewers, everybody with the microphone is just so bad that I tune them out. So, I wouldn't notice the announcers or how good they are.
Well, that's part of what I listen to, because I miss those things where they're he weighed in at this, and he's from here, and some of his accolades that led him up to deserving a title match.
Oh, I agree with you. If I watch something older with good commentary, it's just I don't know. It's like champagne for the ears. Now we're left with sludge, swill.
Well, you have that. So outside of that, it's a pretty decent match. Nothing special really happened in the match, and Bron Breakker retained. It was really a run-of-the-mill match. There was a weird moment during the match where Apollo Crews, transformed. I don't know what happened. So
I don't know why, but that reminded me of us when we would backyard wrestle. So it seems like something we would do.
Yeah, there was a moment where he closed his eyes and then he's breathing, and then he opens his eyes and they're like really big, like just really wide. And then that was his new persona, or maybe like his new gear. I thought with how they were like zoomed in on him, I was like, what is he about to like have red eyes or something? Like I thought there was about to be some crazy transformation,
I kind of
and then
thought
I'm
that too.
thinking, well, when would he have had time to do this?
Right.
Like his eyes are about to be bloodshot red or something, and it's like, would he have done it?
Just sit up a little, like, come on now, I'm interested. But no, nothing like that.
Yeah, and then Braun Breaker wins off of a spear, one spear. That's it.
One spear after doing a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah, but well, he did a bunch of other shit, but yeah, it was just a spear, and I don't know.
Is that even his finish?
It's the setup to his finish.
Okay.
So the move that Apollo Crews did right before, where he like did the press into the power slam.
Yeah, somebody from
That's his finish.
WCW used to do that.
Goldberg.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, but that's Braun Breaker's actual finisher. But he didn't do it, and he won off the spear. And,
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I thought, because of, like, that whole transformation thing, that it was gonna, like, be this big thing to beat Apollo Crews, but, yeah, he just gets beat off with the one spear.
Yeah, that's it.
But, aside from that, it wasn't a bad match, it was just nothing special about it at all.
Well, I guess the story of the match is, even though Apollo Crews went into that next gear, it still wasn't enough to beat Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Because he did kind of hit him with everything he had.
Yeah, I could see that.
Not that I'm an expert or anything. So, my turn?
It's your turn.
All right. So, it was a good thing I was excited for this match because the build up to it, the little video package, sucked. Like, they went out fishing, and Apollo's like, oh, what's it like going out in the woods? You escaping from being a champion, or you just lying to yourself? And Braun Breaker talks about how hard it is being a champion, and Apollo goes, oh, you just give me the belt. I'll take it off your hands. And then Braun Breaker goes, oh, I'm going to have to respectfully decline. I almost had you. And
I almost had you.
yeah, he said that. Oh, I almost had it. Very, very woodenly. It was obvious bad acting. But then, like,
I almost tricked you. You almost gave me your title.
And then they're like sitting in a coffee shop, like, oh, I'm going to bring intensity and speed, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm going to bring the same thing. And it was really, I don't know. And Braun Breaker, he's really good. All the things that I've heard about him seem to be true, but he kind of looks a little bit softer than his dad was. Like, he doesn't look as like a grizzly bear.
Yeah, you gotta give him time. He's like young still.
Fair enough. I think
Gotta get him time to get cut up.
Weren't the Steiners about his age when they started? They still look like freaks.
No.
Okay.
They did not. They looked like little pretty boys with their leather jackets and mullets. Well, Scott Steiner.
Rick's look never really changed, though. He was always like a big, burly fucking wrestler.
He just had the beard.
Okay. Aside from that, I thought Crews was great. I was ready to shit on him, call him a jacked up Kevin Hart and all that stuff, but I like when they were in the ring, and maybe this is why I didn't hear the announcer, because he was just the way he was looking at the NXT Championship, like you could, I don't know, just his body language. It made it seem like he really wanted it, and like there was nothing he wanted more than to have that on his shoulder. I thought that was great. I thought it was great that we saw some wrestling. There was some fucking headlocks. There was some German suplexes. There was some takedowns and hip tosses and tests of strength and lockups, and it was great. It was one of the best matches I've seen in a while. Little Rick, he does a one of Apollo Crews's moonsaults, his little standing moonsault, and he completely misses. And Booker T nailed him on it, which I thought was great. It's like Apollo Crews's moonsault's a 10, Little Rick's is a 7. Good for Booker. Yeah, the close up on Crews hulking up was really stupid. It was dumb as fuck. Especially that little shaky cam effect that they did. I don't know, like that was so weird. That took me out of the match completely, I'd say. I like that Crews did that D-Lo frog splash. Everybody does a frog splash. But it was nice to see a D-Lo frog splash. Does anybody else do a D-Lo?
No, I think he's the only one. Maybe Kofi kinda does one.
Okay.
Yeah, Kofi. Sorry.
Okay. Well, it was just refreshing to see. In a world of frog splashes, it's just nice to see something different. But overall, I thought it was an awesome match, despite the all the cliches, like the every time they do the pin thing and they kick out, they look surprised or angry or shocked, and close up on their face. Then they did the locking foreheads in the middle of the ring, and then they did tons of false finishes. And then they did the gimmick where they use each other's move. And then they did the New Japan punching thing where they grab each other's head and just start wailing on each other. But aside from that, it was a good match. I liked it. And you're right, like the finish, like what it took to beat Apollo Crews was really anticlimactic. Like you think, like he come out like Super Shredder after they did the close-up. Like, why would you do the close-up thing if it didn't mean anything?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't compare it to that. It was kind of anticlimactic how they beat the Super Shredder, too.
True.
They did all that build-up, and then they just dropped the deck on him.
Right. Well, he dropped the deck on himself.
Did he even do anything? Like, they didn't even fight him.
Donatello tried to reason with him, and then Shredder threw him. I think that was the only physical interaction that they had. And then he started punching. He started inexplicably punching the bridge, and they're like, "No, don't do that. You'll kill us all." He's like, "Fuck you. I do what I want. Don't tell me what to do."
Yeah.
This made no sense to me. But yeah, so that was NXT Deadline. I'd say like the two matches saved the show for me. I think overall though, like there's no comparison to how the takeovers were. I really wish just that kind of makes me wish that Hunter had his shit together more with the main roster now, because it makes me appreciate like how good the takeover era was.
Yeah, it's definitely not a takeover, but I would say compared to like what they put on TV, this was definitely a good show. I did want to go back though. The build to this Apollo Bron Breakker feud, at least from what the video package showed, it was like they were on bro dates. Oh, let's go
Yeah,
fishing, bro.
it was kind of
And then,
weird. Yeah.
and the what did stick out to me on this whole thing, the whole video package, was Apollo Crews was eating in the diner, and Breaker walks in and says, "I thought I'd find you here." How? How would he know that he's gonna be in the diner? That diner? Like, what do you mean you thought you'd find me here? No, you didn't. Like, just go out there and say, "Oh, you're here," or "Someone told me you'd be here." But don't say, "Oh, I thought I'd find you here." Because what is this? He's on the road, so much with the main roster, but this is his regular spot.
There's
He usually
something.
comes here on Sundays.
There's something about Braun Breaker that I can't put my finger on though. That everybody says he's a star, and he'll be, not everybody, but the circles that I listen to, wrestling opinion wise, they suggest that he's going to be a star, maybe possibly top wrestler one day with WWE, and right now I just kind of don't see it. Not that my opinion matters, but
you got people talking about him being the one to dethrone Roman. Which is crazy, because that means like he's nowhere near ready to be the top guy.
right.
So that means Roman would have to keep the title that long, or he's not. And there's no way that he would take down Roman.
No, at least, yeah. There's just something about it. I can't put my finger on it. He just doesn't look like as big of a badass as the Steiners did. I think that's what it is. And I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's a tough dude. He's got the Goldberg tattoo, so I'm sure he got made fun of, and he had to fight in school and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, even the Steiners, they didn't really transform until later in their career anyway. Or I guess we've already kind of went through that. Like,
I just remember
it wasn't until he became Big Papa Pump that he was really something.
No, that's Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner.
I'm talking about Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner was always a hairy motherfucker that was just a big. He looked like he didn't need no fucking blonde hair and muscles. He looked like he would just use his fingers as a can opener on your skin.
I don't know. I didn't see it in him. I wouldn't. He just looked like a little teddy bear.
Okay.
Until later on.
Fair enough.
Like early Steiners. Yeah.
I'll go back and look. But I think I might.
Well, you see what you see. I see what I see.
Well, I'm right. You're wrong.
There's not a right and wrong on this.
Yes, there is.
It's just you see what you see. I see what I see.
Of course, there's right and wrong. That's the only thing that matters.
Oh, I got something I was right on. We're gonna talk about it later.
Okay.
But I got two things I was right on. Maybe even more.
Okay.
But that was your NXT Deadline review.